Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be tackling a building challenge that all of us know a little too well, the dreaded box house. If your Sims homes look a little too boxy and like they're missing that special something, you're not alone. Many new builders, we struggle with creating builds that don't look just like a plain square or a big old box. But don't worry, I got you covered in this video. In this video, we're going to show some simple ways to add architectural interest to your and personality to your builds, transforming those boxy houses into a home you and your Sims will love. From simple roof techniques to clever landscaping ideas, we'll cover it all. So let's get building. So before we go ahead and jump in, I'm going to show you what we start at. So as you can see, it's a very boxy house. Um, Not a lot of personality, just very simple. Gets the job done, not an ugly house. It's just missing that little special touch to make it from a good house to a great house. So we're going to take our house from looking like this to looking like this. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. This is the and located in the base game neighborhood. It's called the Streamlit Single. I did bulldoze the lot and just rebuild this home as simple as I could. So one bedroom, one bath, very affordable home. Now I am going to try to keep it under 20,000. So realistically, your sim can buy it without any cheat codes. Don't get me wrong, I know it's a little closer to the I think I ended up leaving it like at 19ish is what we end up as a home value. But honestly, most of that is not the outside stuff, it's like the inside. I use like I don't use the cheapest refrigerator, and that's just cuz it was more of an interior design choice. And in this video, I won't really be going into the interior design aspects of building this home or upgrading it. I do end up kind of messing around with the interior, but that wasn't the focus of this video, so I'll skip through that. Um, but first things first, again, it's a one bedroom, one bath, open floor concept of living room, kitchen, dining area. And I made it really small, preferably for a single sim. Um, but just looking here, taking a look at this home, it's very boxy. And the first thing I'm going to do, go ahead and fix, is just extend this room by um, one square. Just helps makes the bedroom a little bit bigger in the sense that it's going to be the master room. So again, you just do that by dragging. It'll drag everything um, forward. Now, I also wanted to do something here with to add some to take away already some of that boxiness and add some different patterns and stuff. And here I'm just kind of showing what the menu is. I'll probably go into another video about breaking down the menu there. But the first thing I want to do is go ahead and move the house and move the lot. I'm going to move it. Again, moving the house. I'm moving it about a couple of squares, 2 or 3 squares back. Mostly because I wanted extra room for what I'm going to add here to the front room to go ahead and start making this. I'm going over to my walls and I'm going to start by extending it over one and then doing one diagonal, a straight, another diagonal, and then back to the thing. This is kind of really already adds a little shape to the house that is not just a square with the bay. It's kind of like a bay window concept, and with the extension of the master room in the back, it already adds some dimension, I guess, is what I would say. Now, realistically, if I wasn't trying to keep it under a certain price, maybe I would extend it a little bit and do a little bit more room, which you can. This is just showing you the simplest ways to upgrade this house. I'm trying to keep it nice and simple. Next, I'm going to go ahead and start by adding a little patio or a front porch here, again, to give it more, take away from that boxy and give it more, I guess, more shape. And I always start by doing this is just a personal preference away from the house so that I can kind of get it to this what I want, and then I attach it. Just that's just a me thing. I don't know. Then I'm gonna go ahead and of course add stairs. That already kind of helps draw your eyes. Um, and just with these little changes, even you could really truly kind of stop here. After you kind of get everything to match, and I think you'd be fine. We'll definitely be adding more, but I'm just really trying to show the little tiny changes you can make to something you can already do. Um, and then maybe I'll do another tutorial on even how to get to the first step, but I feel um, we can skip that for today. So I went ahead and deleted my roof because I know I'm going to go ahead and start over. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and also um, match my walls. Whoops. And again, I apologize. I'm probably going to say go ahead and say a bunch of things too many times. So I will go ahead and apologize for that. But we matched the wall. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to change this foundation. I like, that's just a personal thing too. I like the blue and the red brick. It's just like blue siding, red brick. It just, it's one of my preferences. We all kind of have, I think, builders, once you start building more, you're gonna have some of your kind of favorite things to do, and I think the obstacle as you get better at building is that sometimes you tend to stick to what you like, and then you end up like being like, oh, okay, I can't do a blue and brick house again. So that's where I struggle now. But again, we're gonna go and start with the roof. We are using that same gable. I think it's called the gable roof. I apologize, I did not pay attention to what it's called. But we're gonna be using this roof, and what we're doing is we're already starting by, instead of having it facing forward, we're having it turned sideways. We're also going to lower down the height. Um, for whatever reason, the Sims, I think it automatically kind of just puts it way too high. And we kind of, if you're a beginner, you might assume that it's how it's supposed to go. Um, but I think it's just personal preference. Here I'm showing some options on what you could do to cover this little bay window. I feel like a lot of, that's what I used to stay away from, these windows, or sorry, these diagonal walls and stuff, because roofing, I felt like it needed to perfectly cover. It couldn't go over. And I don't believe that's really the case. And there's many ways to kind of do that. And you can do that. My favorite way is this way here that I'm going to show, but I love to add dorners. I think that's what they're called. But I like to do the roof facing the right way, or facing forward a lot with builds. I think it just gives it again a little bit of dimension and to the build. But as we can see, I don't want it to go over just because it completely kind of, it just looks a little weird to me. I don't like how it looks. Now you may like it, and that's cool. I think it looks fine. I'm showing you one way you can do if you want it to fit perfectly. I think I got the wrong one, so I went back here and fixed it, that you can get the right one. And as you can see, that looks perfectly fine. You can even mess with it if you want more Durner, or sorry, I think that's what it's called. Or you can do it like that. Now I'm going to show you guys what would be my preference, just because I think it kind of gives it, again, more interest. I'm going to take this half roof, I'm going to go ahead and drag it out, and then I'm going to lower it down, and you're going to see me extend it usually to about halfway of the other roof, like right where the halfway point meets, just because it's easier to blend usually, just to see where you need to put it to blend a little better, and then I'll go ahead and bring it back because I don't like how it looks over the wall. Now again, I'm kind of messing with the height to see where I want it. I did think I had the first one, and then I think I'm just going to go back one, and there we go. So it's just kind of messing with it, just looking up some techniques. I'll probably just do another full tutorial completely just on roofs, because those are, don't be afraid of roofs. Roofs can be scary, but the more you mess around with it, the better and the easier it gets. Next, another quick little fix to add more interest and like more character to this house as far as the outside is to add some columns. Now, I just chose these columns because I like them. I don't think it really matters what columns you choose, personal preference. You will all have your own architectural and interior design choices that you will like and taste. So just remember it's what you like. Next, I'm going to go ahead and always, this is just what I always do. I always upgrade the shingles, and I usually either go with the weathered shingles or the Wouldn't You Wonder composite, and I think those are the ones I stick with in this one. Then I'm going to go to roof trims. Don't forget about roof trims. You have so many. My favorite is usually the square because I just think it's the right amount of, I guess, thickness for like small little simple builds like this. But you can really do anything. Here I'll show with the steeped. That's another one that I do. That's if you want it, if you don't like it showing so, I guess, being so thick. I don't know what you would call it, but yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and just show some options, but I'm gonna go back to the square. That's where I like it, and I feel like that's where it blends really well with this house preference here. But I always put a roof trim. I think without a roof trim, it can kind of leave your houses looking a little unfinished. Now, this is the kind of these I do use, but I would say they're usually better for like two-story or like walls that are like the tall wall. But with this short walls, I'm not gonna do that. Next, adding railing. Adding railing to your stairs again also kind of helps finish that up. And then I'm using the same fence to kind of help match and tie in those columns, and they're from the same game pack. So I would say relatively when you're doing like something um, and you're starting and you're beginning and you kind of don't get a feel for what you want, I think it's best to just start with sticking to a certain game pack for like the windows, the doors, and when you're doing like it doesn't all have to be the same one, but my railing, my stairs, and my columns in the front are kind of the same. It kind of gives it a cohesive look. Now, the front door I think is a really important part, and it's super easy to add some interest and character to your house. Now, I'm using a red door with a white frame because I just love a red door with a blue. That's just a personal preference. You can even do white, you can do another color, but I do think just a nice little door with a pop of color just gives it that little extra look. That makes it look less basic. Gives it, and it also gives it a little bit of personality to the home. And it kind of, I use the red door because I really think it looks well with the red brick. Now, here for the windows, I decided to go with the Seasons windows because this home was giving me not really craftsman, but kind of craftsman adjacent, I guess. So that's why I kind of chose the Seasons. And again, I'm going with the white just because I feel like it goes good with the white trimming of the house and it just kind of matches well. So again, I'm using all the same windows from the same pack just to kind of give it a cohesive look. And then I'm also making sure I place them all around the same level because, and sorry, I'm deleting some of the old windows here. But another thing is I try to add a little bit of different windows, especially for like the living room area where you don't require as much privacy realistically in a house. That's what I'm using, this bigger window. And again, it gives it a little bit of character and a little bit of personality. And then I also draw inspiration from my own home. In my bedroom, I have like my guest bedrooms and all the bedrooms upstairs only have like one window, and it's like because you need more privacy usually in a bedroom. Whereas in the living room, I have like two large windows in my living room area um, and my living room. Sorry, and my kitchen. So that's just kind of where I draw. Draw inspiration from your home, your friends' homes, homes you see on TV. Um, you know, experts, real life builders build those homes, so you can definitely take inspiration from them. Then I'm adding this window here in the kitchen. It's probably going to change because it's just a personal preference of mine that I like to have. And I'm using the tiny little window for the bathroom. And I'm trying to keep it at the same level because that just helps, I think, with the look of it. Adding some stairs to the back patio, and I'll actually end up fixing this patio because I wanted to extend it, but I didn't realize I hadn't extended it, so I will fix that here in a bit. So don't get so this is going to change is what I'm trying to say. Okay, So I'm just taking this because I couldn't find it easily. I couldn't remember which ones I chose realistically. Um, and then I just add those there. Again, it's already looking a little bit more interesting. Um, and here, look, taking a look, we're going to go ahead and move over to just changing some flooring. Changing some flooring will also just kind of help give your home. I'm trying to stay with the cheaper flooring, but it'll just give your home a different style. And for this home, I decided to kind of, like I said, I'm not going to go too much into the interior design, but that's what I changed the flooring for because I wanted a more, as you can see with the pinks and the kind of light woods, that's kind of the vibe I was going for. So I try to keep my kind of cohesive looks, but that's just again, that's just me. Now I am looking for a tile to put in the front porch. Trying to find something that's like just kind of looks realistically and takes away from that like concrete because it just again it just looks a little unfinished. So I went with this white or light beige flooring. Okay. So after that, this is when I'm just kind of looking over and I'm seeing. Here's I think when I realized, oh no, I messed up on the roof. So I can see that it's over. So this is when I go ahead and pull forward the little arrow. It's going to pull it forward. It's going to get rid of my stairs, which is fine. And then I, I want it to go ahead and go forward and out right there. Kind of extend that. I kind of had to delete that wall just to see how I wanted to do it. But yeah, make changes. You're gonna change your mind. Get used to changing your mind. And sometimes you at the beginning, I think when you're first building, you might change your mind a lot, and then the more you get used to it, you kind of learn. It's what I tell my son all the time: practice makes better. Um, so just remember learning from your mistakes. Don't be afraid to experiment. Take the time just to one day. I'm a builder in The Sims. I don't necessarily play The Sims as much to do the daily life thing. I'm definitely love just building in The Sims. That's like my thing. So, um, but saying that, take one day. If you're somebody who likes playing The Sims more, take one day just to mess around. Okay, this is kind of important here. So I noticed I wanted to put some windows here, but the game will not let me put them there. Um, it's saying I can't because it is being blocked by an item that is in front of there, which is the table. But I want the table there, or I know I'm going to put something there anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Control C to bring up this text window, and I'm going to put on the cheat code BB dot move objects on. Now, that cheat code will allow me to, as you can see, put the really anything where you want to. It's really lets you kind of circumvent like the grid as far as like objects. And it is important that when you're using this sheet that you're kind of making aware and paying attention that you can still use the objects because sometimes it will let you place an object, but your sim won't be able to use it. I usually use it for like windows, like I said, when I want to move something just a slightly bit like decorations. I think it's a good one. Now I'm moving over here to the window, the little window the outdoor decorations. And I'm just adding some little planter boxes because I don't know if I end up keeping all of this, to be honest. I think I'm like, okay, I'm doing way too much. And that's just how it goes. You kind of see which one do you like, which one do you not. And I'm like, okay, maybe too many. Sometimes you can't have too much of a good thing. So I know I end up going back and I place all of them. I look at it and I'm like, okay, I think I like this or I'm going to keep this. So I think I just end up keeping the one on that windowsill. Now, this is another thing that I like to add sometimes, especially for like these kind of I would say it's not modern, it's not really craftsman. I honestly am not like architecturally like knowledgeable to know that this style of home. It gives me craftsman. I know craftsman. I know like farmhouse or like what is it, ranch style or ranch home and farmhouse. It's definitely not a farmhouse and it's not giving ranch style. Um, it gives me craftsman, but again, I live in a state where there's not a lot of craftsman's homes, so and again, these uh, flower decorations, they have different wall So make sure you're paying attention to which walls you're doing. And this one, when I was trying to do it, it started just going up. Now, this is a simple fix by just using your zero key. Your zero key will bring it down, and then pushing your nine key will put it up, like the number nine. So zero down. So if you ever have that, you want to painting or anything, you want to mess with the direction. Now I'm here showing the walls. Now the short walls, to me, I'm just showing you why I chose that wall. I feel like it's too short. The tall just looks a little bit too big, and medium I think is the perfect little height for beginners and for most homes, honestly. Um, then I'm just gonna go ahead and add some more railings and fences to the back patio here. I'm also adding another column. Just again, just kind of helps. Think with columns, you don't want to do way too many. I think depending on your build, on the style you're looking for. For something kind of basic, you kind of just want to think where would there be a support column, like realistically. Honestly, I think I'm surprised I didn't put one where the stair is, like the railing is at the thing. I probably just overlooked it because, yeah. Now we're going to landscaping. Now, with landscaping, these are pretty new, but I'm going to show you guys some little tricks. I always use the square one, and I adjust it to about the size I want. And again, I'm sticking with that red theme, kind of tying it all together. And that's just like another thing. Try to keep kind of similar themes at the beginning. It'll help kind of just make it a little bit easier as far as looks, until you kind of get more confident and more experimental. So again, here I'm just fixing my little mistakes because I went over where I wanted to. Um, I'm not trying to make it perfect because you will see why, but I am trying to make it as, you know, realistic because this is supposed to be kind of like a river rock type thing, I guess. And again, I'm just fixing my mistakes. And next, I'm going to go ahead and go to the dirt and soil, and I use a circle brush. And the reason I use this is because I'm going to be planting. This is a little trick that you can just do when you're planting any plants or anything like that. Because realistically, when you have um, when you build something, when you plant stuff, you have to usually mess with the grass and the soil. So that's just why I do this. And I think it's a little simple trick that kind of just adds a little bit of interest to the home. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add some shrubs. Now, all of this is just kind of personal preference on your landscaping. You can definitely, I would say landscaping is not my forte. Probably because realistically in life, IRL, I am like the death kiss to plants. I love plants. I want flowers in my home and I want things, but I promise you I cannot keep it alive. ADHD gets the best of me when it comes to plants, and I just forget to water them. And it's the worst. And then I just feel awful for killing the beautiful plants. So I just don't even buy them. That's why I always tell people like, and everybody tells me, try this easy plant, try this one. This is easy. I'm like, yeah, I've tried everything except succulents. I mean, I'm sure I would, I wouldn't be surprised if I killed a succulent, but I also would be a little surprised because I heard those are terribly hard to kill, because they require very little water and maintenance. Because I will water it like daily for like a couple of days, and then randomly it'll go like a week, and I'm like, gosh, I literally forgot to water that plant, and I feel so terrible. And I'm like, how could I forget? But life gets busy, and that's just how it goes. So again, I'm just kind of messing here. You'll see me do a couple of changes to the landscaping. Definitely get inspiration from if you like how it looks. If not, watch other builders. That's probably your best bet. That's just kind of how I went about it. Um, and then just kind of discovering it on your own. I like to kind of stick with themes, sorry, as you see, and with the flowers, I kind of did all yellow flowers and some white, I think, but I think they're all yellow. I didn't pay attention, my bad. Um, and then I also like just to add the shrub back here because I don't like how it looks. Like I think it helps just kind of hide that bottom part, and it kind of just I just like how it looks. I like adding one big shrub usually on the sides. Now we're also going to add some trees to this lot because it will help give it more. It looks a little. The lot itself needs some work. Again, this is just another way to take your builds from being kind of basic to a little bit more, um, I would say maybe intermediate. I don't even know if that, I think that means medium, right? Like medium, I guess. I really like birch trees and beechwood trees. I don't have any where I'm from. Um, but yeah, so I'm going to show you guys another little trick with this one because I was like, I want a tree, but I don't want it so big. So you can size it down by using, I believe it's control and the bracket, um, and it'll make your tree smaller. And I like to pretend like when I bought my home, they put a new little tree at the front, and it was a baby tree. And this is like again, this is a new. Maybe they just planted this tree. Then I'm also gonna go ahead and when you plant a tree, you usually have to dig up the earth. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add some ground texture. And this is just again, this is just one of my little like things I like to do in my builds. Then I'm also going to go again back to my plants and go to the rocks, and I'm going to size these all down with control. Um, it's the left bracket, I think, and then the right bracket makes it bigger. It's like a plus or a minus, and those keys. Um, so brackets or parentheses, I think. No, it's not the parentheses, sorry, because parentheses is the 9 and 0 key. It's the brackets next to the P. And then again, I'm just sizing these down. And this is also kind of where some of my money goes. So this is completely optional. So you can see like each rocks, it costs some money. So this is an unnecessary expense. So we could keep this house closer to 18 instead of 19 if I wouldn't done some of these big old rocks. So again, I'm just kind of making a circle around them just because I like how it looks, and it's I don't know. Take inspiration if you like it, and if you don't, don't. You'll discover your own little kind of habits and what you kind of like to do. And again, take inspiration from your real life. That is how it was with me. I drive around, and anytime I see an interesting house, sometimes I'm like, I'm going to build that. I'm going to try to recreate that from my memory. Not perfect, but again, gives you inspiration. Now, here we are. We are completely done with our build. And that's it for today's video. I hope you found these tips helpful for transforming your boxy Sims 4 houses. And remember, breaking up the boxy look is all about adding architectural detail, some dimension or depth, and playing with roof lines, incorporating landscapes. I really had so much fun transforming the boxy home, and I hope it was an enjoyable watch for y'all. And really, truly, building in The Sims 4 is one of my favorite things, and I really do love sharing tips with you. Let me know in the comments which tip was your favorite, and be sure to share your own house makeovers. I'd really love to see them. So don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more Sims 4 building tips. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.